Okay? So, we want to solve this for A and B. If we know that xy is 2, 5 at one point and 10, 19 at another, this means that we want to find a function like this. Okay, if this is 2 and this is, I'll better put 2 a little closer to the orders if we're going to have 10. So let's just say here's 2 and here's 10, and here's 5 and here's 19. So we have these 2 points. Okay? Now, if I ask you to find a linear function through these points, you could do it, right? What if I asked you to find a quadratic function through these points? You couldn't do it. You need 3 points. Okay? But if I ask you to find a quadratic function where this point is the vertex and this is on the graph, you could do it. That was on your homework, right? Now maybe you could do it, maybe you couldn't. Depends on, you know, how well you did it. We'll see. I won't know until I've looked at your homework, okay? Which is why we're going to go on into exponential functions now and Thursday, okay? Then we'll come back to quadratic functions next week. Okay, well, we solved this for A and B, given these 2 points. And we're going to find this function, once we get the value of A and the value of B, okay? And you know what it's going to look like? We haven't said why, but it's going to look just like the graph of y equals 2 to the x. But it's going to have a different scale. Okay. Now, how do we solve it? Because we just want to talk about the algebra of solving this thing. I'm going to go through that very quickly for the class. But the purpose of this class is so we don't get hung up by the algebra. Okay, well, what we do, what do you think?
Plug in the y and x?
Plug in the y and x and get 2 equations, right? Since we've got to find values of A and B, we're not going to find the values of A and B from one equation. But if we've got 2 equations, we can do it. Okay? So we get, from the point 2, 5, we get 5 equals A times B squared, right? And from the point 10, 19, we get 19 equals A times 10 squared. Not A times 10 squared, A times B to the 10th. So I don't need to write all that extraneous stuff, right? Okay, well that's 2 equations and 2 unknowns, right? So the question is, how can we solve those equations to find the values of A and B? We expect that we're going to be able to find a solution, although it's not guaranteed. For example, if this was positive and this was negative, if one of the y values is positive and one is negative, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Okay? But as long as they're either both positive or both negative, we can do it. Don't need to worry about that yet. You'll see why. But first you've got to see how to solve the equations. Okay, so what could we do to these equations in order to easily get a solution?